certainly hope this little incident hasn't put you off climbing. Statistically speaking, it's still the safest way to travel.
Right. Who are you?
A friend.
Why can't she see that he's Clark?
I don't think that he would lend himself to any cheap promotion schemes.
Exactly how would you know that, Ken?
Just a first impression.
They look the same.
So I see this all the time. Literally all the time. And it got me thinking, why don't people recognize Superman as Clark Kent? Even some of the people that are closest to him. And it hit me that I might have a legit answer that I've never considered before. They're not looking for him. So I see this all the time. In fact, I've asked the question and joked about it sometimes myself. Why in the world don't people recognize that Clark Kent is Superman? Because that's it? See, if I was me, and I showed up as me, and then I did this, is that really so different? No. But I didn't change at all. And I think that's important. See, day one, Superman came on the scene. He flew in, and I'm just talking in most continuities, the idea that most people saw Superman, even the people that were close to Superman, most people saw Superman. One day, he just showed up. Okay? He's got blue, he's got red, he's got a cape, he's got this S splashed across his chest. He gives an interview with the news. He tells them directly, my name is Superman, or whatever. My name is Kal-El. I come from a different planet. I'm here for these reasons. I feel this way. And he even gives, in some continuities, like the Christopher Reeve movies, he even just gives away some of his weaknesses. Like, I've got nothing to hide. Look, I'm here for a very specific reason, and this is the person I am, and this is me. Now, there's one thing about this superhero that is uniquely different than other superheroes, and not the stupid thing that I hear that people sometimes quote like they think that they've come across this gigantic epiphany because it was taught to them by Kill Bill. First off, Quentin Tarantino is wrong. You're wrong. You're fracking wrong. Why are you wrong? Because years ago, Superman grew up, Kal-El grew up as Clark Kent. He was Kal-El second. So it is still a secret identity of sorts, but here's the difference. He grew up as Clark Kent, realized he was Kal-El, went on to become Superman Kal-El, and then created a different Clark Kent. So, yes, he's somewhat right, but he's also wrong, because Superman is Superman, but Superman is Clark Kent. It's just that you don't meet Clark Kent until you meet Superman, because the Clark Kent that he presents us is an act. However, why don't people recognize him? Why do they say, oh, well, you know, he just takes his glasses off? Well, there's a little more to that. He takes his glasses off. His hair does change a little bit, but it does. And then he changes everything about his posture and his speaking and everything of that nature, because now all of a sudden he's just being himself. All of his confidence returns, and he's very honest and direct about everything he does. And in that honesty, he does one thing that many other superheroes do not do. Batman wears a mask. Spider-Man wears a mask. Even Green Lantern, in most cases, is a dude that forms a mask. They're hiding something. There's something to discover. Something that they don't want you to know. But Superman, day one, shows up, swoops down from the sky, saves you from a car accident, Maybe you're in a parking lot or something like that, and somebody, because it's Metropolis and crazy comic book things happen, a car skids off the area and starts coming towards you, and almost like you were saved by the sparkly vampire, some blue and red thing jumps in front of the automobile, puts himself between you and your own car, puts his hand out and stops that car. He stands up tall, and you see his human face, his human hair, his god body physique, but he's a man. And he looks at you directly, and he asks, "Are you all right?" And you say, I think so. And then he proceeds immediately to the other driver, the guy who almost hit you. Yes, he would have killed you, but we don't know who's at fault yet. At this point in time, there's been an accident, and the only thing Superman cares about is helping everybody involved. He goes over and he says, "Sorry I had to stop you so suddenly, but you were going to hit this man. Are you okay?" And that person is like, "I don't know, man, my back is really killing me. Like that was a hard jar." And Superman immediately takes it upon himself to use his X-ray vision to see down to the bone structure and see if muscles or anything like that are wounded, are damaged. And he says, "You are suffering a little bit from an injury. Please remain seated." And if Superman has to, he will straight fly to the EMT, pick it up, and bring it to you. And the whole time this is going on, there are superhuman things taking place. But there's an incredibly humane aspect to those superhuman things. And the entire time, I see his face. He's not hiding who he is. That's who he is. Superman is standing in front of you, and he is exactly who he is. He's not putting on a show. He's not creating a situation. He's not a bat in the shadows that swoops out that we'd be looking at a very different situation at that point, because Batman would have dove between the cars, would have grabbed me, would have rolled me out of the way or whatever, and then would have stood up all menacing and everything like that, and probably would have told Alfred or whatever, because he said beep, and without me seeing him, this aberration, this giant scary thing that would have then crept back into the shadows of Gotham at that very moment, while I'm getting up off the ground and I see its cape billow and kind of move into the alley and then fly up the building, and then cops and ambulances would show up because he would have Alfred put in a call. He wouldn't stay the way that the other hero does. He's a superhero, sure. And then Green Lantern's very different as well. Green Lantern may do the very same thing that Superman is doing, but Green Lantern might very well, I'll never see his face. The Flash may very well save me and the other guy, put us both on the street corner while the cars wreck into each other, and then go about being like, "You guys all right? Everything okay? That cool?" But I can't see him. There's still a secret between us. I don't know who has helped me. I don't know. But Superman, every action that he takes is honest from the very beginning because I see who he is. Now later on, after meeting Superman and getting the impression of who he is, if I meet Clark Kent, at face value, Clark Kent is also just a guy. And Clark Kent is also just a guy from the country who's a little bumbly, not very confident necessarily, but he never feels like he's hiding anything necessarily either. And I'm not overly examining Clark Kent, looking at his eyes, checking out his hairdo, trying to get an idea, because I got to find this Superman. As far as I'm concerned, Superman is Superman. And because I can see on the news that he's helping people as far as California, and then as far as New York, and then as far as, I don't know, Southeast Asia, and sometimes all in the same day, I don't stop for a second and think that Superman is anybody other than Superman all day, every day. That's just who he is, right? I don't have to look for a secret identity. If I don't see him, chances are I don't see him because he went to his fortress of solitude, wherever that is, wherever he lives. Superman might live somewhere. I don't know. I just assume he has to live somewhere, right? He just went home. He can't save us 24 hours a day, even though sometimes it very much looks like he is. And Clark Kent is once again just a dude, but Superman is just a dude. I'm not looking for anything deeper because he told me everything he needed to tell me the exact moment he showed up. Take, for instance, his intro in the newer series that we got, where he swoops down and he picks up the car and he puts it down on the ground and everything, and he makes sure that everything's all right. And then, when he figures out that the drivers and everything looks right, what does he do? Just like the nicest guy, he walks over and he picks a hat up that fell down. Practically his fault that it fell down. And he walks it up to the kid and he hands it to him. Here's your hat, man. Everything about that moment is awesome, and everything about that moment is honest. There's no act being put on. Superman has just done an incredible thing that he can just do, because it's just a thing to him. It's not a big deal that he picked up a car or flew or moved at nearly light speed or saved a bunch of people. That's just a thing as a guy that he's capable of doing. I don't brag necessarily when I carry in all the groceries on one arm and my wife can't do it. That's just an honest thing that I can do. So I just walk the groceries in and I put them on the counter. Gadook. I don't need thanks or anything like that. I just did a thing. That's just a thing that I can do. For Superman, that's a completely honest thing that he can do. So then he walks up, notices the hat that he accidentally blew off the guy's head, picks it up, walks it over, maybe even dusts it a little bit, and hands it back to the kid. All with a smile on his face and a non-hidden, honest expression. That's his face. He walks up and he hands us the hat. And he says, "You dropped this. Sorry about that." And while we are in awe, we don't know what to do. So we comment on the only thing that we can see that can be commented on. We don't go, "Nice blue eyes," or something. We kind of go, "Man, that was cool. Man, cool suit, man." And he goes, "Thanks. My mom made it for me." And he just takes to the sky. And we don't get a second question with him. But we do see later that day, because he's a media sensation, that he's on the news, having done all manner of things, from taking a cat out of a tree, to beating up some supervillain, to stopping some bank robbery, to doing any number of humanitarian things that he just does because he can just do them. Superman presents himself as honest the second we meet him. And because of that, we're not looking for a secret identity. And I think that's the trick. Of course, it's ridiculous to assume that your best friend would not recognize you if you showed up like this. I'm Bill. I'm Bill. The glasses are a ridiculous difference. But maybe, if I had hair, and I could change my hair the littlest bit, put on a different outfit, swipe on a pair of glasses, and when I met you as a superhero, I had different hair, different body posture, a completely different suit, and a 100% exposed visual face. Those are just enough features to make you go, "That's just who that guy is." I don't have to look for a secret identity now. Think of how many people, whether you'd like to believe it or not, think of how many people just like look like you. That does happen. It happens all the time. There's constant, in fact, with ideas like cosplay, we see it all the time. We've seen other people play other people in movies and look almost exactly like those other people. It's not unbelievable to assume that there's 30 guys, at least 30 guys, within yelling distance of one another that are bald, wear glasses, have black hair that's turning white, and rock a goatee. I'm not that unique. Sure, if you know me very well, you'll pick my face out of a crowd. That's fine. But if I present myself as me and say, hey man, what's going on? And we have a legit conversation one time in passing, I'm me. You're not looking for secret me. And that, I think, is why nobody can tell that Clark Kent is Superman or vice versa. It's because Superman is just Superman. I honestly think that's the reason. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense, at least to me. Later on.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.